Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are studying topic Business Studies 7115, chapter 1.5 Business Objective and Shareholders Objectives. Okay, out of which we are studying 1.5.1 Business can have several objectives and the importance of them can change. Okay, the sub point we are doing right now is need of business objective and the importance of them. Okay, so why does a business need objectives and what are their importance? Okay, so when you're doing a business, you need to have some objectives, right? If you don't have any business objectives, you don't know where your business is going, then how are you actually going to run it, right? Okay, so some objective, right, they act as a motivator. Okay, so for example, let's take my example. For example, so I have an objective in YouTube. I want to do something, right? And this works as a motivator, right? So I have a target, okay, and I have to achieve that target. Okay, so the more even if I'm tired, I would go like, let's make a video, just in case, also I'll come and make a video. So even when I have a target, I'll try my best to achieve it. When I try to achieve it, this is becomes a business motivator, right? So it becomes a motivator. If you have no targets, you don't know exactly what to do, then you have nowhere to go, so you're lost. Okay, and business objectives. Now the second point is business objective helps in decision making, right? So it'll help you make a decision. So for example, to go right or left, right? Not exactly right or left. Okay, to do this or do that, right? So if something meets your objective, then you do it. If it doesn't meet your objective, then you don't do it. So if you have it helps you in making decisions. Okay, every decision that you make in a business, okay, helps you move forward towards your target. If you have no target in sight, then you have no idea whether you're going in the right direction or the wrong direction. Are you increasing your business to meet your target, or you're just increasing your business? So business objectives help you in going the right way, right? So for example, there can be many different objectives. You see, there is not just one objective. The only objective that a business has is not just to grow. There are many objectives. Okay, we'll discuss afterwards. Okay, number 3, can make entire business work towards a goal, right? So not managers and owners and all, everybody can work for one goal, right? So they know exactly what they're after and they'll do whatever they need to achieve it. So it can give you a direction, it can give you a goal, and you are growing your business towards that goal, and then it can be a motivator. Last point is managers can see if the business has achieved its goal or not, right? So not only is it enough, it's not only enough to achieve the target, you need to calculate the target. Okay, you need to know if you have achieved something. So if you have no targets, okay, you haven't actually achieved anything, have you? It's just work, and there is no target and there is no achievement and there is nothing really. So I'll tell you how don't get confused, right? So works as a motivator, helps you decide in decision making, can make entire business work towards a goal, and managers can see what goal is being achieved or not, right? So don't get confused, I'll explain further, right? So there are different goals. Now we come to the second point, different business objectives. Okay, this is where I will explain to you why there is an importance of business objectives, okay, as it can work as a motivator and all. So why does businesses have different objectives? This is what I'm going to explain to you. Number 1, they want me to explain survival. What is business survival? Business survival is when, like for example, right now we're in pandemic. Okay, the pandemic, I can't mention it. So the pandemic, everybody's in pandemic, so businesses are in survival mode. Okay, so in survival mode, all the luxuries are gone. Okay, and you come to the bare minimum. Okay, you come to the bare minimum in survival mode, so there is no problem. There is problem with finances, so you need to control your finances, so you are in survival mode. So that is survival for you. Okay, now comes growth. Why does business want to grow? Okay, businesses might want to grow to have higher market share. Okay, to increase jobs and all, right? So maybe it's a public limited company and wants to increase jobs and get more unemployed people employed. So that's one of the reasons why you would want to grow. Another could be market share. Market share I would explain, because that's one of the points. I would explain market share and then come to profits. Market share is, you want to be a big company. Okay, when you want to be a big company, you want to have maximum market share. When you have maximum market share, you are a big player in that sector. When you are a big player in the sector, if you're a private limited company, then your stakeholders are happy. And other reason could be, you can control the prices, you can control price. Like for example, iPhone and Samsung have high market share, right? So they control the prices. Their products are maximum price. Nobody can price over Samsung, right? So you can't have a mobile over Samsung or over Apple, for example, because they have the highest market share and they control the prices. Okay, and then obviously if you have a higher market share, your brand is recognized. When your brand is recognized, then you can charge higher for your products, right? So that's one of the points. Number 4, they said, is profit. Okay, so what is profit? Why would a company like to get maximum profit? Quite obvious, I suppose. They would get maximum profit to keep their stakeholders happy. Okay, to keep their stakeholders happy, to have to increase their company. So they would like, everybody likes more profit, isn't it? So I don't think there is any reason to explain why everybody would need more profits. Anyway, now there is a point called objective or social enterprises, right? Social enterprises are privately owned businesses that focus on, one, providing a service to society, such as providing jobs for disabled or homeless people. Number 2, protecting the environment. Okay, so objectives of social enterprises are basically enterprises that are run by a government or something, right? So they are working for you. Okay, they're working for the betterment of the society rather than maximizing profits or maximizing growth. Okay, so they might be providing jobs for disabled people, right? So that could be one objective. The other one could be protecting the environment. For example, go green and save light and save water and all. So a business could do that, right? So that is social enterprise. So everything, survival, growth, profit, and market share, is for private companies, and social enterprises have totally different needs. They're not exactly going towards profit. They don't care about profit. They don't really care about growth. They actually care about, actually they don't, but they actually care about giving society something back, you see, for working for society rather than working for profit. Okay, so there we are, point 1.5.1 finished. And now we move to the second point. Okay, second point is a bit interesting. The role of stakeholder groups involved in business activity, right? So main internal and external stakeholders groups. Okay, first of all, let's understand the meaning of the word stakeholder. Stakeholder is a person with an interest or concern in something, especially a business. Okay, that's what the dictionary says anyway. Okay, so a person who has interest in something, right? So who would have a stake in something? Okay, for example, let's talk about internal people inside a business that hold a stake of the business. Okay, so who are internal stakeholders? People who have stake in the business, right? So who can you imagine has stake in the business? Okay, owners have a stake in the business. Okay, there are people who invest and set up the business, so they obviously have a stake in the business. If something goes wrong in the business, who's responsible? The owners, right? So owners have a big stake. So they are internal stakeholders. Their objective is obviously profit, so they can keep the business running, right? So if they don't get enough profit, there is not enough interest in the business. Okay, who are the other stakeholders, internal stakeholders? Workers or employees? They're internal stakeholders, right? They hold a stake. If something goes wrong in the business, okay, or um, basically their objective, okay, is to get payment from the work or job that they do. Okay, so they are stakeholders. Anything that goes wrong with the business, they are internal stakeholders. Okay, so people who have stake in the business, these are number one, employees; number two, workers; number three, managers. Okay, managers can be can be classified as workers, but not really. Managers are like a post of their own kind of thing. So these are managers have a good stakeholders, people who work in controlling other people. Okay, those are called managers. Okay, the better the business, the higher their salary would be. The more the business grows, the higher their salary will be. Job security. Okay, job security is a main thing for managers. Okay, and the status that they get being a manager of a certain company. Okay, so these are internal stakeholders: the owners, the workers, the managers, and everybody related like raw material and all, but that's not counted anyway. External stakeholders, okay, who hold who are external stakeholders? The people who are not directly related to the business, okay, but outside the business, as in, like, for example, number one would be consumers. Okay, consumers are external stakeholders, okay, who buy goods and services. Okay, their objective is to get good products from business, reliable service and maintenance from the company. Okay, so for example, you were to buy a mobile from Samsung. Okay, so you hold a stake in Samsung. So if Samsung goes bust, for example, okay, your product cannot get maintenance. Wherever you get the screens and the boards and the memory, if something goes wrong, who will fix your company, right? Who will fix your mobile? So that's one. Customers become stakeholders. Then the government become stakeholders, right? They're responsible for the economy of the country, law to protect customers and employees. Okay, their objective is to successfully business, means more jobs. Okay, their objective is more successful the business, the more they create jobs, and and the people will do community contributions, and also these are external stakeholders. So with that covered, we have community. Okay, community is a stakeholder. They are interested, like, how does a local business impact the community? Okay, so a community becomes a stakeholder. Okay, for example, they are interested in employment, they are interested in environment, jobs for people, a friendly business, safe products for customers. So they are external stakeholders. Okay, then banks become external stakeholders as they lend money to startups, and the objective is to have enough, that the business have enough money to pay them back, right? So the bank becomes external stakeholder. So with that point, I've explained to you the main stakeholders, internal and external. Okay, now we are coming to the part of objectives of different stakeholder groups. I've also explained to you the objectives of all the stakeholder groups, right? Okay, now we come to the last part of the role of stakeholder groups involved in business activity. And the last point is how these objectives, the objectives of the bank, the community, the government, and consumers, come in conflict with each other, right? So I'll give you two examples. Okay, number one, managers of the business want to build a factory in an area. Okay, however, the local community are against it, right? So the managers want to build in a maybe a secluded area, maybe they want to build in a cold area or something, but community doesn't want factories there, right? Because people want different stuff. So community doesn't want you to build it here because of maybe the noise, the pollution, the smoke you will bring with you, the traffic you will bring with you. So that two things can come into conflict. Okay, and it becomes a bad situation. So people don't want it. So interest come in conflict. Okay. Owners of the products obviously want to use the cheapest thing possible, right? Not everybody wants to use the best thing possible. They want to use the cheapest product available, cheapest raw material available to make a product and get most out of it, right? The most profits out of it. Okay. However, consumer are against this, okay, because they want quality. Okay, they don't care about the raw material. They want quality, and they want to buy it for lower. Okay, the owners want to reduce the amount they pay for the raw material and make maximum amount of profits. Okay, consumers want the best product possible for the lowest price possible. Okay, so this is how interests are conflicting. Okay, so with that we come to the end of 1.5.2, and that's about it, isn't it? Yeah, quite short, this one. Anyway, now we come to the last part of business objectives and stakeholders objectives, which is difference in the objective of private sector and public sector enterprises, right? So there are different in private sector and public sector. As I've explained to you, private sector is people who are running it for maybe profit and running businesses for maximum profit and growth and all. And public sector is not interested in growth. They're interested in services, right? So let me break it down for you. Okay, private sector business objectives would be business survival. Number one, okay, they want to survive their business by hook or crook. They want maximum amount of profit, okay, by any means, okay, and they want maximum growth, okay. They want returns for the shareholders, right? They want maximum return for the shareholders, so they are happy and leave them alone. Okay, they want maximum market share, okay, because the more market share they have, the more they have speak in the community, and the more reputation and all, right? And maybe they want to provide a service to community, service to society. Okay, that's a small part, service to society. Okay, however, public sector business objectives are totally different. Okay, they want to provide service to the public. That's the foremost objective that they have. They want to provide service to the public. For example, electricity company, power company, water company, I don't know, drainage company, something like that, right? So they want to provide service to the public, and they don't really, objective is not the main, profit is not the main objective, right? So there we go. They want to increase living standards for the public, therefore healthcare and education. Okay, they want to increase jobs for the lower unemployment in the country. Okay, they are not actually too much interested in profits and all, right? So this is the difference between objectives of private sector and public sector enterprises. Okay, private sector wants maximum profit. They want business survival, growth, returns for stakeholders. In public sector, there is no stakeholders. There is no stakeholders, as in there is nobody having shares or all. So shareholders. So they want to provide a service for the public, healthcare, education, and all. So that is the difference. With that, we come to the end of our chapter. Okay, if you're still here, congratulations to you. Okay, what do you want to do in this business studies? You don't want to learn, you don't want to make notes. I'll put all the notes down below in the description, right? And you can just go through the notes. Okay, notes are not needed. What you need to do is you need to understand. Okay, as long as you understand what I'm explaining, and you listen to my topics, you should be golden. You should get an A grade. Okay, so listen to me carefully, and we should get there. Okay, this was one of the smaller chapters. I have made bigger chapters before, so there we are. Actually, I think we've just finished chapter 1. Yes, chapter 1, understanding business activity. We just finished it, and tomorrow we'll start with chapter 2, people in business. Okay, so hang on for that. Check in the playlist. Okay, I should have chapter 2 up there very soon. Okay, this is your host Muhsin Bukhari.